Now what's super nice is since we did all that Kreg jigging and building of these window trims at the shop, I show up and, you know, with all good luck, they're gonna fit the windows perfectly. I should have all my proper gaps and everything should be good. So we're gonna get those all installed first, and then we'll start running our siding up here, and we're gonna try to be smart today and work with the sun. So what I mean by that is this is the south side. So we're gonna try and work on it first and work our way around and try to stay in the shade. So now whenever you're doing any penetrations like a window door or really anything, you've got to make sure that you put an aluminum flashing above it. Not only do you need to do this, but then when you run your trims around it, you need to make sure you give yourself a clearance of 3/8 of an inch above this flashing. So what we do is we do this little bend here, and it is going to give us not only our 3/8 spacing automatically because it's a 3/8 bend up, but the way we do it, it also dams any water from going out into the edge of the window, and it's going to work out over this drip cap. Now whenever fastening this flashing in, you know, do your best to stay up as high as possible. I've got like 4 to 5 inches of flashing material up above the window as well. Our goal is to have an 1/8 inch gap. I like it, don't you? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my 12 inch alternating.
We're gonna shim it?
No, we don't have to. Okay, you good?
I think so.
Look at that reveal on the bottom, Greg. It is money. Okay. Next one. You know how easy this just made our job? By pre-assembling them and...
Saves time.
Oh, you know what we should have done though? Should have used a trim nailer. Alright, now with this piece here, I'm going to be going into this trim. I still need to maintain my 3/16 gap up top. So what I'm going to do is take my little simple cider tool, which I know is the accurate dimension. I'll stick it under here, and this is the dimension that I will cut, minus 3/16. So this one I'm going to cut 2 3/16. Also, invest in some markers. Write your measurements. It'll save you the back and forth. Alright, so what I like to do whenever cutting around a penetration is to get the board basically right where you like it. Now, this is kind of hard to do when you don't cut the right measurement somehow. We're going to go back to the saw. We're going to try that again. Okay, I'm going to get my gap here. You good? I'm good.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I'm good.
Mine.
Okay. So, now what we're going to do...
You mark
exactly where you're at, because we'll take a 3/16 off of this mark, and I already got my height, so I can square down here to my 2 3/16, and if I take a full blade's width off, that's going to get me just about my 3/16 of an inch. So we'll go make that cut and come back. I want that to be right about there. Got a little bit of sag going on mine. That look good? I think so. All right, now that we're up into the window here and we're basically straight up to our soffit, what I like to do is, remember how we spent all that time getting our bottom to look good, even though it wasn't perfectly level, we had to go off the house a little bit. I'm gonna now measure up to my soffit. Here I'm 56 3/4. Here I'm 57 inches. So I've got a 1/4 inch of, and I gotta make up a 1/4 inch. So I always try to do that as gradual as possible. But the thing to remember is, I gotta also think about wrapping around these corners. That way my siding lines up, you know, these lines line up from corner to corner. So the easiest thing to do is to keep consistent spacing, like with the simple cider, through most of this. And since I only have to make up a 1/4, I'm just gonna do it up there in the last couple pieces, about an 1/8 inch at a time. All right, so a tape measure, you know, obviously works just fine, but because you're dealing with potentially long lengths, and if you get a little bit of a sag in your tape, definitely a little personal digital laser measurer is definitely gonna save you some time. This is just a simple basic one from Stabila. However, it does go to your phone, so if I hook it up on my phone, I can come in here and I can make a bunch of different checks and measurements in different spots, like let's say in between the windows, in between the doors, and I can keep clicking the Bluetooth function. It can go to my phone on a notepad, and I can just write, you know, 8 pieces, and boom, I can come in here and I can check between a window, let's say whatever that dimension is, and hit boom. Pretty cool feature. I don't know that I'll use it very much just because I just keep it in my head, but that's also why I make a lot of mistakes.
the hard part right there.
Dude, we're already done with this wall, basically.
Bro, we're done. Pack it up and call it. That'd be nice if we woke up tomorrow and like it was all done. Because good to go, Kyle.
Sweet.
What's your next one over there?
Next one is gonna be, I think we're going all the way out there, Greg.
Like a 14 footer?
Yeah, I think it's 14.
Is that what that one is there for?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just putting this piece here so you know. You don't hit it.
Ooh, that's tough. Good. Go.
That piece. Okay, you got those two guys are good to go. 16 footer is going to go there.
16, 16, and then we'll probably go back to a 16 for that guy.
Yeah, you can do that.
Jeez, you alright?
How do you like that? I like them apples, bro. Is that what you want?
Yeah, that's good, dude.
Bro, you moved it like a 32nd.
Well, when you're precise and you're working off perfection, you do what you have to do. It's not about being close, Greg. It's about being perfect. Got you. Coochie. Okay, what side's cut?
I don't remember. Think does it cut in or no?
No.
I want to put it the other way. Like it's still one crack you on the head. Oh, buddy. You know what sucks?
Is that flash?
Yeah, he's that flash guy.
I'm learning. Push it, Greg.
You gotta ask that question.
Down. Down. Down right there. Holy. It doesn't bother me.
Flash.
Yeah, I don't have it.
I got it.
No, this is how I learn. Do you think I'm ever going to get better, Greg, if you take...
But I'm here to help you with your weaknesses. Chief.
Namaste.
Bro!
So where were you, Greg?
Oh, so now it's my fault?
If you're going to accept the responsibility...
You said no. You didn't want me taking that responsibility.
That was just now.
91 and an eighth. 91 and an eighth.
Boom! Looking like a bag of money. Hey guys, so now that we're on the front of this house, our goal is to make sure that all of our siding runs, they come together on the same plane. So every row needs to be coming together on every corner perfectly. What that means is we use that reference line that we shot with the laser initially to make sure that we're always basically installing our siding on that same plane. But since the house was about an inch and a quarter out of level, we kind of had to cheat it a little bit from corner to corner, but we wanted it to look perfect. So we're gonna make up that difference in the first couple runs of siding. That way when it comes up to like below these big windows specifically, it looks consistent to the eye, and you're never gonna get down and on 30 foot be able to pick up an 1/8 inch, you know, kind of slanted on 1/8 inch. So that's our thought. I'm always curious to see how other people do it. So if you have a great trick to make a crooked house look perfectly straight? Let me know down below in the comments. Otherwise, make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos and you see how this one finishes up. So appreciate the support. Thanks. All right, so if you're working by yourself with this LP product, it is a little bit flimsy. And the problem here is I'm working with 16-foot soffit material, 3/8 thick, and I gotta have a 3/16 gap over here on this end where those two come together, but I can't reach out there and support this piece. So what I like to do is I like to go ahead and butt it tight. Then I come up here, make a little reference line, and then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move it over 3/16 from this reference line. That way I know that I'm gonna be good right over there. And you might be saying, Kyle, you didn't even measure that. 3/16, you should be able to know what 3/16 is with your eye. Perfect. All right, now with this corner here and these window trims, you know, the rest of the build, we've taken these pre-made corner trims, put them on, and then we used a 5/4 by 4-inch board on the side of the window. Problem is, this is gonna give me a really small gap here, and I don't like that. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make these two window trim, I guess, frames, and we're gonna put them together, but we're gonna use an oversized side trim board here. And just like what was on here before, this will be one solid piece of trim, and we'll wrap it around. I'm hoping everything is nice and square. My guess is it's probably not going to be, and we're going to have to do some fiddling with the numbers. I'm 7 1/8 down here, 7 1/4 right there. So we'll have to do a little bit of fiddling, I think. The other advantage to doing this is that I can actually make up my bottom trim a little differently, because when these come in here, this window here is not the exact same height as this one is. It's about a 1/4 to 3/8 inch difference. So I should be able to make that up with the bottom of my trims, and nobody will be the wiser, hopefully. There's a lot that's got to be precise to make this work, you know, work well. And I had to do a little bit of trimming on the welded nail flanges here on the windows because they were very uneven, but I think I got them pretty good. One thing to note, if you do this sort of thing, you can't just go off of a tight measurement. I had to use a couple boards and run it out, and you can't really see this, but there's about maybe an 1/8 to 3/16 gap on the back side because it's just not perfect. So originally I came in here and I measured from here to the corner and I got one measurement, but when I came in and I put my trim board, it's not the same dimension. So you got to almost kind of fit pieces in there in real life application to make sure that your measurements are going to be accurate. Let's go make the window trim. I'm gonna have Zach over on this side with the little ladder, making sure that stays in as we take it up. And I'm gonna come in the middle with the orange ladder, and I'm gonna make sure everything's perfect coming down. You see what I'm saying? Because that's the critical point. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's test it first before we, I think I can always pull it apart a little bit and put a bead of glue in it. Okay, Zach, you're gonna be over here with that ladder that you have. We're gonna go ahead and put yours up first, Greg. Okay. We'll get it like hanging. All right, it's finally time to put these trim picture frames up for these big windows, and hopefully they go together. All right, hang these yours then?
Yep. Kind of got that corner up in here.
Yeah. Okay, get it in there, Zach. Okay, now, Greg, you're going to hold that. Zach, go on the other corner then. You might want to come in just a little. So you're not all the way in there, so you can kind of hold the middle. Yeah? Okay. Okay. You're about maxed out, but you ain't going nowhere, right? Oh, what in the world? Oh. Oh, sweet. This is going to be good, dude. This is going to be great. Huh?
That's what I like.
Yeah. Okay. This is gonna be a little tough. Are you needed up there? I mean, I'm assuming if you held, what I need is I need help lining up these bottoms perfect, because that's, and Zach, you, I think should be good there. You think that's good right there?
I think
there?
Yeah, I think right there.
Okay. This is where the problem could be. I need to, before I fasten this, I'll glue it, and then I'll nail it together.
Probably start at the top and work your way down.
Start it at the bottom.
Start at the bottom.
Oh, I was gonna sing a song. Zach, you're doing great.
What you
Yeah.
gonna do? Definitely put on, maybe just a little too much glue. Ooh, that's like
A lot?
ah.
It's alright, dude.
Ah.
We can clean it out. We can clean it off. Was it a little too much? Maybe. It's hard to say at this point.
No, I think we could say that it was too much glue at this point.
I'd rather have too much. Here.
Like too much money.
No such thing. Okay, go up.
Okay. Wait a second. Right there.
Dude, this is gonna be great. GRK is my brand.
You got it.
What are you talking about, Greg? We have like 270,000 friends.
Are they friends? Are they point?
They're friends. The fact that you don't know the difference.
You got friends. You got friends.
That's gonna be so nice. I think the real winner here is GRK, Greg.
We cut in our corner then to be
3/16.
but off the reference line, same as that guy over there.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Zach.
Just making sure I'm thinking about this right. I'm 22 and 9/16
Here's
over
the
there.
easiest way to do it, my dog. If this is the top of your piece, it's 7 and 7/8 down.
7 7/8. Okay.
There we go. We got the window trims installed and turned out quite good, I think. I can't really probably show it to you right now because it's so darn bright and all this white just, it's hard to see anything. So I'll show you guys in a little bit. If you're wondering, we made a mistake. No big deal. We just had a miscalculation from one side to the other. We didn't really realize it until we saw a nail sticking out the bottom, and this is what happens when you don't use your gauge and you go off a snap line. If you make a mathematical mistake on your tape measure for your differences in lines and you don't use your gauge, that can happen. So if you have one, use it, because you'll never get off, or at least you'll never get off by much if you use one. We got off by more than was acceptable.